Would you like to help me with number 1?
For just number 1?
Just number 1?
Okay, we got 5a plus 2. But in parentheses, a plus 2.
Bless you. Perfect. Okay, and your group can have a point, and then let's go ahead and go to number 2. And I'm looking, actually, we'll take 2 different answers. So even though I'm going to give Brittany this chance, someone else can have the next one. Yes, Brittany.
Negative 6x. And then 2x.
Okay, that's perfect. I think that's great. However, there is another response that is also acceptable. Did someone factor number 2 differently? Brittany did it the way I would have done it, but there is another option available. Everyone in the room factored out a negative 6x?
Yes.
No one else in the room factored out a positive 6x? Well, humor me. If I factored out a positive 6x, what would be left in order to get your group a point?
Negative 2x plus minus 1.
Okay, I heard it from 5 and 1, so they can both have a point, and plus I heard it from 2, so they can have a point too. The only ones I didn't is table 4, so I'm going to go ahead and let them on. Do you want number 3? Okay, number 3. Go for it. What would you like to factor out? No.
Just
You? Well, your table. It doesn't have to be you, Tyler. It could be Sarah or Urban.
what are we factoring on?
Number 3.
The 2x.
And what else? Okay, and what would be left?
Y to the cube.
Okay, y to the third, or y cubed, yes, and then what?
And then minus 10x.
Minus
Oh,
10x?
wait, you're just
Yeah, your group's talking to you.
factoring 5x.
Is it 5x, Urban? Okay, so this is what we're thinking. We could check it, though, and we could distribute. And if we did, we would end up with 2xy to the third minus 10x squared. So something went wrong. Something went wrong. So table 4, point for help volunteering. Can someone fix it? Yes, table 5.
It's just a 5.
It's just a 5. It's not a 5x. But again, if I make mistakes all the time, all day long. All day long. The easiest way to check yourself is to distribute. Okay, so we're going to leave 4, 5, and 6 for tomorrow. There's still going to be GCF problems, which is similar to our last math workshop. I'm sure you can handle it. Let's go straight to your textbook today. Will you open it to the activity we were working on yesterday? Can I see yours, ma'am? Bless you. Okay, so we're in 1.2. I asked you and your group to finish through what number yesterday?
4.
6. It was number 6. So did you and your group finish through number 6 yesterday? There was one group that did not, and I told them they could be special and take their books home. I'm hoping they got through number 6 then. Okay, let's pray they did, because you need number 6's logic to help you with 7, 8, 9. So today, seriously, all we're going to do is 7, 8, 9. So let's give our guests a little rundown. So there's been this avalanche, and there are these people on top of a mountain, and they each have different weights. We had a man, and how much does the man weigh?
195.
Okay, so the man weighed 195, but then in number 4 or 5, we changed his weight to what? So it doesn't matter today. It should have specified. Some people last period used the original 195. Some people used the 210. It doesn't matter to me. It's still going to work out either way because this giant is freaking huge. So it doesn't matter. You pick. Do you want the 195 or the 210? The youth weighed how much?
105.
How much did the boy weigh?
900.
And then what about that indestructible pack?
75.
Okay. The indestructible pack has been the key the entire activity. Why?
Because you can throw it.
Because you can throw it down at any time. Because otherwise we're using a system, and we don't want to send anything down too fast with our system, our pulley system. So I've been suggesting, which is why our learning target says that you can design a tree diagram to make sense of this logic problem. But you continue to, well, some of us like the tree diagram and some of us don't. As long as you have some sort of a drawing, it doesn't matter to me if it's not a tree diagram, as long as you have some sort of a method that you're on with. As we level them down, we've got to pay attention to who's on bottom and who's on top, and I know you got that yesterday. Okay, 7, 8, 9, life changes. And you know the scenario was already crazy enough. Of course, today we're factoring in a giant. a giant. And guess what? The good news is you get to select the giant's weight. That's the good news. Now, there are parameters as to what his weight should be, because obviously the giant needs to be bigger than pretty much everybody else. So the second sentence in our scenario says, since the giant is so big, you even have a bigger basket, so now there's not a limit of 2 people. And it asks for an explanation. So when I walk around and help your group, if I just see the number 480, 425, 382, whatever number I see, you better have it explained. Because most importantly, it says give an explanation as to what size you picked for the giant. Okay, and then 8 and 9 is basically show me the way to get the giant down. And bless your hearts, you realize the giant's going to require everybody on bottom to get the giant down. Because he's so big, you're going to need him on top, everybody on bottom to finally make the swap. Okay, when you finish 7, 8, 9, yesterday you had a logic puzzle. Some of us got it, some of us didn't, the animal logic. So your group could work on that. Or if your group wants to be an overachiever, you go ahead and work through 1.3. I'm going to allow it. But regardless, we're pulling the plug at 155. No, we need to pull it over there. 150. And we're going to take a short group little quiz thing with a YouTube video on a different logic puzzle. So breathe air. Okay, get to work. Man.
Because I was really planning on getting it done. I forgot.
Okay, everything was the same, except before, when you did, you used to get the man down with the EP pack. Now you have the EP. That's all it's going to change. So the first sentence has to be the same.
I just forgot. Like, I didn't understand it. Because like we're going to do something.
Yeah, well, okay. I was going to change it. So I did a similar thing to you to begin with. But I changed it last year and I started drawing it out. That kind of did who was on the side. So I did a remember. It really made me go back and draw it around. The lake came up with it in Blake. No wonder you can't read Blake. Okay, and that's what I was telling her. And I suggest you start drawing people. I know it sounds silly, but if I draw them out from hand, because that's what I know I'm going to go with that. Who was what and where they go. Yeah, you will be fine.
We have.
Oh, no, the YouTube video at the end. He doesn't really like this one section. We're fine. Forrest, I'm really sorry. So if you can just join it and break down today. Oh, so it's a long that's fine. Once you got a good diagram, then you just say see that. Yeah. Okay, what goes there? Heavier stuff or lighter stuff? Heavier. So add the 15 else subtract it. I had that whole debate with myself for like 3/4 of last day. I want him to be heavier and make it down. Yeah, you wrote down maybe 15 less than you want to go with the original. Yes, go with the original. And then, therefore, again, since you change it to 10, it was 1.
come down from our aspect.
You did 15 less, you should have done 15 more. Yes. Or you could have done the range. Okay. 15 less up to which means when I eat like that would be fun. And you say number 2. No, you said it somewhere. In a good way. What happens? Are your 2 people or 2 honors or 2 else having a combination of you get it out there? You added all the way so nobody will finish that. So technically, yes, I can. You can 195, which is 15. You were right.
So you can create a best. So I'll take this over. That's all giant being
Okay. But what about the time? Figure it out. I would have done.
we're adding
Okay. I would have done before. I would do. I think that the question was worded really. It's the people. Oh, like magic, like kaboom. Yeah, no.
I guess before, so it was.
No, because somewhere in there it says person, and that's what everyone else is not adding in the pack. But I started saying, basically, number 7. I would say, like, the next problem is not mention the pack of 7. I don't know, some people are not adding the pack of 7. I would have already added the pack, all the people, and then that's when they're missing of the guy.
Okay, I didn't know. I put the man.
No, but that would make sense because this whole thing is very telling anyway. Where's Alex? Where's Johnny?
I already put it in the rest of it.
I did too.
Okay, so 465 pounds.
Yes.
So,
But, because 465 is all 4 out of that, right? But how much can you have? If they're both 465, it's incorporated.
so we can make the giant.
Yeah, but you can't break the system. How heavy is a giant?
Well, what I was saying, so like what I
You
said.
added up all 4, but we are almost there.
So I
So you need to wait a little bit more. How much are we allowed? How much are we allowed to give them pay? A little bit more, but we don't want to break pay. How much more are we allowed? Their insurance comes down with it's like, everything.
So make it.
But again, we're not here.
No, but we're going to have to make the giant less.
I agree with
We're going to have to make the giant less. Okay, so off for this giant weighs a
I
little
wish
bit.
I had a police system with one battery. I could put in Yeah.
So the people are.
Okay, so they're about to say we need the giant toenail halfway or more or less. Yes, so the giant tail.
I thought we were gonna get the giant.
Okay.
Okay, so do the people have to go on top or bottom? They have to end up on the top.
See, in my head, I was doing
Okay, so everybody on the top eight,
Everybody's on
right?
top.
Same on the story, get everybody down like usual, except that giant, he's still at the top.
So he stays.
He stays at the
Okay,
top,
so-
then you use them all to bring him down. That's the question. Yeah.
That's what I'm
That
saying.
means
That's
you gotta
why.
bring everybody down to make it giant.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, less heavier because they're heavier, but so slowly go down. So you just go down.
Well, yeah, I mean, if maybe you want to see a giant, maybe you don't weigh 100 pounds, but at most, what you weigh, and you did 14 plus 15, everybody else would weigh plus the 15. Yeah, but again, you just put 480.
We can change it.
And don't put words. That's how you best. You can put 480, and then you gotta put comma, I added everyone up places. You guys, because 15 pounds. As long as you put the words in, whatever you add up. Hey, if you just put the numbers against 105 or 75, plus it's on the C, so that's what I'm going Okay, we both can look at this.
I feel like my head now.
That's cool. That's
How high could it be? Like the highest, the biggest mountain, wait, okay, wait, wait, I might not know, but it says giant. How many things are there? Five. Well, five now. How many you can put in the other bag besides giant? Giant can look back there. How many things can put in there? Since the giant is so big, you're now allowed to use a bigger basket, which everyone can fit in. So you can do all four and the giant, yeah. So we put all four of the weights together. Yeah, because the giant. So out of all four, then they would be the same. We gotta bring him down, so he's gotta be within the 15.
We figured out my solution, you probably know you want to get and then I have so if you put the giant right, and then you put all four of the other ones in the other what if you possibly do that with the giant? Because if so the egg you get from the
I don't worry about everyone before she got cut. But the giant is when you're but she said no man, it's me and always. Everybody, yeah, the giant, yes, exactly. At some point, everybody's going to compliment. And then you got the giant in the car. You need to put the giant in back. There we go. The giant comes down. Which is sad. All right, 105. Oh, okay. Everybody. So you everyone got a car. Except the giant. And then I think everybody take steps. Add a step, giant down, take step. Yeah, that's all we got to do. Yeah, so same step. Everyone goes down, step giant. Everyone goes up, giant goes down. And then same steps get everybody down.
That means that.
So then what happens to the giant?
I don't know if she's
Well, the giant's not, he's around like, not, yeah, only couple that one time, where everyone's involved. Or eight, or eight. It's not weight, that's the man. Close to the man, weight. It's like the man, you choose to be equal, you choose to be half of the weight of fat, you choose to be weight of the giant part at the end of that. What happens? Okay. You know, that's just drawing up a new picture. You don't have to draw in the picture.
Same exact thing. I'm kind of doing this so like I can see.
Seriously don't care if you say C steps on number 5 again. For the obviously you have to get everybody down again, right?
Yes.
So just say C steps on number 5, and then make the giant flop, and then C steps on number 5 again. That's fine. You don't have to draw it out again. That's fine. Did you figure it out? Just tell me. Okay.
Right, so when it says so they have to go down. Plus,
Well,
or do they go up?
they have to.
Did they go down or is this the ground?
Those things have to go up. Is it broken right now?
We already said the giant,
You brought the giant down by using everyone else. Right? So didn't technically when they brought the giant down, they were using everyone else.
No, okay, what I was saying is like, if the people all equal 465 pounds, we make the monster like 4 pounds. The people are gonna start going down slowly.
Yeah, so then who brings the monster?
Well, no, we leave the,
You have not leave the
no, we leave the pack in, and the pack will make them descend a little slower.
Because you the giant, I'm worried about the weight distribution.
I mean,
I mean, it's all efficient, so it's made up of the giant.
So we're just
The giant must follow the rules. Okay, so your power relative, so I have other values that represent giant and giant sport A. And now we can write that kind of thing, and then you play it on your thought. And you got both things, when I finish the weight set, bring the giant down in the back.
so what we could do is, so if we were to make the monster heavy, they go up,
Monster come here.
monster goes down.
Because there's three monsters, so I can't.
Number 8 was just split the people to like make the weight as near as possible without making it.
So you're my brown.
Thank you so much.
You've already done all the work. Once all the people are up, don't you already have the how all you can all see down here? Yep. So seriously, look back, put back the page. Calm, yes, put back the page.
No, we're all joining down.
I don't understand it. You know it's double points today, I'm wrong in double points, right? So you go ahead and put the 5, but I'm gonna recall it's all gonna be a 10, thank you for participating. Yay! I'm telling you, I'm praying for people coming to the room more often.
Were you nervous?
I'm always nervous when people come in here. I'm nervous when you come in here. I like to be all by myself.
Are you nervous when you're sitting?
I like to be all by
Just kind of asking us number 7.
Yes. Basically, if you put 7 good time, 8, 9, you can almost say. She has the picture that. Hey, Sarah, are y'all doing my diary?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, can you come right to the time this first, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Big,
Okay.
that
We've already figured that out. When all the people are in power, we've already figured out how to see that reason you don't so what's the same steps as normal. So basically, see number 1, same steps as normal. Everybody's down. Bring the giant down, put it back on top. Same steps again, bring everybody down.
We might have to
Same steps. Back from here. Same steps.
No, we got it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or something. Maybe we should post this. I don't know how you say it. Maybe I should change it. Like if you played it about function.
I thought it was like Arizona was conference.
I like it. That sounds really good. That's so fancy. My God.
I was recording that. Okay, but
So,
Got confused.
no, we got you.
I say no. Me and Grant.
I don't know if I want
You already found a way to get it down. Did you not? Did you do what I think you did? You bring everybody down, all full steps, the old steps, bring everybody down. And then you put giant and then everybody back, giant goes down, everybody goes back up. And then same steps again. Yeah, that's what you did. Yeah. Yeah, you don't even have to write it out. You can say C steps, the way you did it, and then say, comma, bring giant down, comma, C steps, like repeat. Every single time, bless our hearts, we end up with those four on the top of the mountain. Bring them down. Then we did number one. Okay, you got 3, 2, I can't read the clock today. 3 or 2 minutes to wrap up number 9, and then we get to do a fun thing. Well, I think it's for that page. Whether or not you find it fun is debatable.
Did you say something about a breakdown we can have video?
They weren't happy, no.
I love
You circle 5.
I love someone had a nervous breakdown. Because I'm trying to get out to the middle of some pages.
I know where you got lost.
you can't test all that.
Well, we gonna help. We made like 5 minutes.
Can we say
We got I know we got some German chocolate.
You got weird bills.
We got a bunch of new things.
What if I was like, I didn't cheer you feel better about your life, or you just saying you're overspending? You got a minute, but that's fine. Yeah, that'd be smart.
I like it.
No, it'll be more fun.
Can I go drink some water too?
We're gonna start 1.3, so we can make them if you want it, if you were ever cheaper, but it's okay if you're not, I don't cry. And it's a double day. Anytime. Okay, so now is the fun part. So yes, it was a, don't even, now is the fun part. You can put your books away.
Wow. I like the part.
You like that part of the fun part? You can put your books away. It's going to be a short video where you're asked one question you must answer. And you and your group can decide your answer and put it on your index card. That's all you need is one index card per group. And each group will get 5 points. Seriously, it's okay if you can't come up with a great answer. This is a hard logic puzzle. It's one of the most used logic puzzles of them all. Your answer does not have to be like Socrates. You just need to have an answer. Okay, so we'll get, Sarah's like, what are we answering? Let's get to the video. Say it again.
It's one of the most difficult ones?
Yes. The most commonly used. You don't have to. Yeah, no. It depends how good y'all do. I'm joking, chill out.
Himself that your statement.
If you get it right, I'm super impressed. You probably won't get it right. I had a group last period that at least figured out the main idea. Just write something that makes logical sense. Nothing too crazy. Okay, so originally, the old school logic puzzle involved dragons. This one in dragon eye color. This one involves good gravy. People and people eye color, but it's the same principle and involves something called induction, if you happen to know what that means. Okay, so let's get to it. It's a cute one.
Imagine an island where 100 people, all perfect logicians, are imprisoned by a mad dictator. There's no escape except for one strange rule. Any prisoner can approach the guards at night and ask to leave. If they have green eyes, they'll be released. If not, they'll be tossed into the volcano. As it happens, all 100 prisoners have green eyes, but they've lived there since birth, and the dictator has ensured they can't learn their own eye color. There are no reflective surfaces. All water is in opaque containers, and most importantly, they're not allowed to communicate among themselves, though they do see each other during each morning's head count. Nevertheless, they all know no one would ever risk trying to leave without absolute certainty of success. After much pressure from human rights groups, the dictator reluctantly agrees to let you visit the island and speak to the prisoners under the following conditions. You may only make one statement, and you cannot tell them any new information. What can you say to help free the prisoners without incurring the dictator's wrath?
Okay, that is not the actual question you have to answer, but does anyone have any thoughts on how to not make the dictator mad at you, but help everybody out at the same time?
You all have green eyes.
You all have green eyes. He throws you in the volcano. He throws you in the volcano. Yes, Sarah.
I take a mirror with me and be like, look at the mirror.
But is that new information?
I cannot.
Wait, but
I'm
he
not
said they didn't
actively
have
giving
mirror.
them new information. They're
Yeah,
like,
they don't have mirror.
Can
They
you
don't
kill
have mirror,
yourself?
but they can't look in the mirror. Can I just say pass? Kill myself?
No, I'm saying, like,
oh,
what
what
if-
if she just got me?
What if you
I
like
will
look
raise
at
my
them
leg.
and just like make eye contact and you ask to go and then they realize they have a different eye color and you go.
That's gonna help you in just a minute. But look, you're on the right path for how we're gonna solve this whole bad boy. But here's what he or she says that is smart. That way they
After
don't quite
thinking
die.
long and hard, you tell the crowd, at least one of you has green eyes.
Okay, so you can't really be that mad at it. At least one of you has green eyes. It's not all of you have green eyes. So, I mean, he can't throw you in the volcano.
The dictator is suspicious, but reassures himself that your statement couldn't have changed anything. You leave, and life on the island seems to go on as before. But on the 100th morning after your visit, all the prisoners are gone, each having asked to leave the previous night. So how did you outsmart the dictator? It might help to realize that the amount of prisoners is arbitrary. Let's simplify things by imagining just two, Adria and Bill. Each sees one person with green eyes, and for all they know, that could be the only one.
Okay, so now it's your time to think about it. How did they all get off the island? I just need an explanation of how they ended up getting off the island. Talk to your group people about it. You write pretty much what you just said. How did they all get off the island?
What if me, I go visit the island and I find out like they're gonna look with me on my eye colors.
And you would figure it out so they can make eye contact with you and figure out.
And I realize nobody else has a different color.
Yeah, that's a terrific answer. Like 5 points. Write that down. At least one head. So you think we trust this? No, I guess you're all figure out. That's what you want. All right. Okay, if you've got it written down and hand it to me, I'll give your group a few minutes to think about it. And when you have a response written down, hand it to me. We can't finish the video until I have my answer. Huh? Is there a wrong answer?
the one person.
Yeah, last
said
year we
that
told
they
them
just green eyes.
just jump in the volcano or something stupid. Like, don't swim off the island.
No, I don't, you got a 10?
Sure.
Okay, I think my logic is.
So she looking at him and he looking at her and they both see that each other got great eyes. So then they both gonna go off and see who else got great eyes. So once each other see they got great eyes, they gonna go off. If they see they got great eyes, they gonna go off and it's just gonna keep going back.
Miss Compton.
You almost someone on an entire answer, so that's sufficient. Write that down.
So the case is, okay, so, like, I used to, before was, like, if I were looking at a picture, and they all have green eyes, I don't know for sure if I have green eyes, and, like, if Tyler were leaving us, like, she would still look the same, like.
No, I thought
she
it was
told
the
me I
dictator
should,
still.
I don't, so nobody would go.
I thought they said that.
No one would go day one.
It's a day of.
It's from the days when it takes off the street to realize, hey, I'm staying before.
Hey, can we make
No,
the name?
that's not
What's his name? Say Ellie Bill.
Adrian.
Yeah, what is the actual you saw online?
No, the actual question is,
How do you know?
how do you know you're the one that's all learning it? So you've not been talking about learning this whole time.
But you can't have.
I actually learned about like more than one
She
person.
can't tell me something that's already here. She can't tell them anything but that.
Right. You see majority, you're like, wow, that would be. Yeah, that's a good answer.
If
you write it down?
If everybody has dreams, the probability.
Girls are not making that one
Probability
sentence
to
is
say that not everybody.
You think they always do or one of the answers? I can just go ahead and tell you that.
Oh.
Says if they all, you say they were all gone.
There were 90, yeah, they were all gone on day 100.
That don't mean,
What if they jump in the volcano?
They die.
that don't mean.
You died.
She said they were all gone.
But she said, but she said that you can't think that we asked her, she can't
They're all
think that.
gone. So that means they could have died.
They either died or they're
They
escaped.
all know.
But they can only leave one at a time. She said they're sleeping one at a time. Can you remember?
The first time,
They were gone.
you don't leave. I'm like, okay, she saw parts. So that's what she saw parts. The second one, after she didn't leave, I'm like, oh crap. I must have the right too, because she saw me. She already knew I had friends, so it would take us to.
So I was right. That means I got one. Does that mean I'm like Albert Einstein?
It means you got your 500.
What you say?
Okay, so the lady had different colored eyes. She must have volunteered and noticed that she had different. She said one of them has green. So if they're all looking at each other, they're gonna notice they all have the same eye color. So if one makes it, they all leave. And that's how they see it.
And then the one person, the other person goes, well, obviously don't have green eyes.
Yeah, like, when you find out the way they come out, they're not the same. Like, when they're annoying, when they go to the point, it's pointing like green on right where it is. I just pointed the green.
I know.
I can like,
Is that what's back to her?
See that first day, she thinks John saw her, so like that's why. And then the second day, she's like, well, you know, Blake, he's not Tyler, he's not her. Then the third day, she's like, oh, he
before
has
they
green
go
eyes.
ask to go over.
Oh, he had green eyes. Oh, he had green eyes. And then no one told me. She thought I had green eyes. So I said, no, they were green. Okay, we're still on card. Oh wait, no, we're still on. Okay, here is how it actually went down.
For the first night, each stays put. But when they see each other still there in the morning, they gain new information. Adria realizes that if Bill had seen a non-green-eyed person next to him, he would have left the first night, after concluding the statement could only refer to himself. Bill simultaneously realizes the same thing about Adria. The fact that the other person waited tells each prisoner his or her own eyes must be green. And on the second morning, they're both gone. Now imagine a third prisoner. Adria, Bill, and Carl each see two green-eyed people, but aren't sure if each of the others is also seeing two green-eyed people, or just one. They wait out the first night as before, but the next morning they still can't be sure. Carl thinks, if I have non-green eyes, Adria and Bill were just watching each other, and will now both leave on the second night. But when he sees both of them the third morning, he realizes they must have been watching him too. Adria and Bill have each been going through the same process, and they all leave on the third night. Using this sort of inductive reasoning, we can see that the pattern will repeat no matter how many prisoners you add. The key is the concept of common knowledge, coined by philosopher David Lewis. The new information was not contained in your statement itself, but in telling it to everyone simultaneously. Now, besides knowing at least one of them has green eyes, each prisoner also knows that everyone else is keeping track of all the green-eyed people they can see, and that each of them also knows this, and so on. What any given prisoner doesn't know is whether they themselves are one of the green-eyed people the others are keeping track of, until as many nights have passed as the number of prisoners on the island. Of course, you could have spared the prisoners 98 days on the island by telling them at least 99 of you have green eyes. But when mad dictators are involved, you're best off with a good head start.
See, wasn't that cool?
That was so cool.
Wasn't that cool? There's only 3 minutes, so there's not enough for another one, but don't worry, we're going to. There's this one about these rooms and how it's mentioned at a hotel. Oh, over my head. I just can't. Yeah. Do y'all have somewhere y'all like to go in life? Like you go to what room? Where, like home?
I go to Mr. Conte.
It's like,
I don't know who it is.
That's the one with the mustache.
Oh, you go to his room? That's fine. If we finish early, you have to go to his room. I'll pay you.
Oh, for real? Oh,
Normally, yes.
you have a great day, man.
But once I hear you're just leaving school, I'm gonna pay you.
Oh, no, I'm going to his class. Have a great day.
we gotta go to the bathroom now.
That is so fun.
You know, as long as I'm sitting out, they give me. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you want my library card? You don't have to bring it back to tomorrow. Good quality condition. Don't worry about it.
No, not like that. So she had use my phone. Yeah. So she gonna come pick us up after school. Definitely too. She's ready. I got a call.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got baptized.
Taylor working?
Miss Thompson, can I go? Where you going? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and like go towards class because I need to take a 10. Go to and this is kind of long. And
It's like past years. It's like, yeah, that one. I think Caitlin says, like, I have decided.
No, this one's right. No, just one of you know it. You would know that.
Where's everybody at?
Yeah, why would you? How is absent day? I mean, that's fine. I'm okay with it.
They put me on the third. It seems like it's sometimes they don't.